This is Middle East Brief with Avi Kaner, your daily intelligence update on what actually matters.
Today's podcast is about a major political moment in Israel. Two former prime ministers who have worked together in the past, Naftali Bennett and Yair Lapid, have announced a joint run in the next national election under a new alliance called Together. But to understand why this is so significant, you need to understand the background. Israel does not elect a prime minister directly. It elects a 120-seat parliament called the Knesset. In the last election, 12 parties won seats. After the vote, the president, in this case Isaac Herzog, asks the candidate most likely to form a coalition government to try and gives them time to do that. To govern, that candidate needs the backing of at least 61 of the 120 seats. That is why Israeli politics is often less about one party winning outright and more about coalition math. As in the United States, democracy can be messy, especially when a country is so deeply divided. For years, opposition politics suffered from the same problem: too many parties with too many personalities and therefore too many wasted votes. While Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu led a disciplined bloc of right-wing and religious allies, his opponents were often divided into separate camps that struggled to convert public frustration into power. That is what makes this move different. Bennett comes from the nationalist right. He's a former high-tech entrepreneur, ex-defense minister, religiously observant. Lapid, on the other hand, comes from the secular center. Former journalist, media figure, finance minister. They have different biographies, different voter bases, and different instincts. But they are trying to answer one national question: who can realistically replace Netanyahu? And this alliance is their answer. There's also a diplomatic dimension here that often gets overlooked. Netanyahu must be credited with opening the door to the Arab world through the Abraham Accords, but he has never officially visited the United Arab Emirates or Bahrain as prime minister. Bennett, however, did walk through that door. As prime minister, Bennett became the first Israeli leader to make official visits to the UAE and later Bahrain, turning normalization into working relationships. It also adds another important point to his record. The Bennett-Lapid government included the Arab party Ra'am in the governing coalition, the first time an independent Arab party became part of an Israeli ruling coalition. That showed coalition politics in Israel could evolve in ways once considered impossible. But it adds to Bennett's profile as someone who can combine security credentials with pragmatic diplomacy. There is also history between Bennett and Lapid. In 2013, they teamed up during coalition talks and reshaped the bargaining map by sidelining the ultra-Orthodox parties. Then in 2021, they did something even more dramatic. They formed a unity government with a rotation agreement that ended Bibi Netanyahu's 12-year run in office. Bennett served first as prime minister, and Lapid later took over. That government lasted only about 18 months, but it proved that the two men could govern together. Now they are trying again, but this time with a clearer structure. The new list will be led by Bennett, reflecting polling that shows him stronger against Netanyahu at this moment, while Lapid appears to be prioritizing bloc unity over personal ambition. And what is the message? Well, first, of course, is security after October 7, including a long overdue state commission of inquiry. Lower cost of living that resonates with just about everyone in the population. Universal military service finally eliminating the ultra-Orthodox exemption. It's national cohesion after years of division. Of course, none of this guarantees victory. Bibi Netanyahu remains one of the most formidable political campaigners in Israeli history. He has outlasted rivals, scandals, wars, protests, and repeated predictions of his political end. Writing him off has often been a mistake. But this changes the battlefield. Instead of many anti-Netanyahu voices competing with one another, voters now see the outline of an alternative government. And that may be the real story today. This election may be more about the left versus the right. It may be about whether Israelis want to continue the current path or to turn the page. Whether a divided opposition can finally unite. Whether familiar leadership still feels like the safest choice, or whether voters are ready for something new. Israel's next election has not been held yet. But with yesterday's announcement, the campaign has entered a very different phase.
This is Middle East Brief with Avi Kaner. If you want clarity, not noise, follow and share. Continue the conversation on X at Avi Kaner. Back tomorrow